Good evening, everyone. I'm working on the old Chevy tonight. I managed to get the door panel off. I need to service the window regulator. It's a little bit stiff and I don't want to break it. So anyway, the door panel procedure for removal is pretty much identical for all vintage cars. I don't need to beat a drum. So I'm just going to show you what I found immediately after I'd removed the door panel. I haven't removed the insulation, so all the factory tape's still there. This is kind of a neat documentation for people who want to see an original car. Um, I have no choice but to do this unless I want to keep the windows up all the time. It's frustrating for passengers not being able to roll the window down and me having to pull over to the side of the road and roll it down for them. So anyways, I'm just going to show you what I'm looking at, and I'm going to try to hold this camera as I remove this paper, so bear with me. Alright, so there it is. That must be from the glue, a little bit of staining. Obviously it has a bit of water damage, but the doors are just absolutely beautiful. And there's a little bit of tape. It's kind of a papery back tape. It's very brittle, so I'm going to use an Olfa knife to cut it if I can't tear it. Again, a little bit more water damage. The door panels themselves are actually really remarkably nice considering their age, but it was stored inside. But this is what I wanted to see, and why I'm filming this basically is for myself as to the location of the springs. Now on the driver's side, the door panel had been removed to repair the vent wing. It had broken and I had repaired it, but the springs were never with the car, so I had to make something work. So this is just a little bit of a video for me to reference this. I noted that this one is quite firmly mounted in behind the little rubber isolator that's in behind the regulator itself, but the vent wing window, its spring is just kind of screwed into this insulation paper, and itself also, bear with me here, it has a little bit of a paper backing to it, so that probably prevented squeaks, and it has been doing a very good job up until this point. I haven't had a problem with the vent wing, but it is what it is. I need to service this. So anyway, here's some more of that paperback tape. It's really brittle, so I think I'm just gonna avoid risking tearing the insulation paper because it is still okay. This tear was here. I did not do that. Any damage that was here was there from, I guess, from the factory. So yeah, it appears to be a cord that they utilized that was dipped in an adhesive. They probably ran it on with a gun onto the paper itself and stuck it on, and it's quite sticky still. It's doing its job, but I think if I take my time, it'll be okay. So I'm just going to start unscrewing the spring here. This one, like I said, is firmly mounted, but it has enough room to pass over without damaging the paper. Go down here. It's pulled away, so I'm just going to keep running my finger along. Okay. I'm trying to save this if I can, and I'll just kind of use another type of a tape. Not, oh, perfect. Not duct tape. I have something a little bit better from my workplace in the RV world. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty neat to do this. It sounds stupid, but nobody's touched it. So I'm just going to peel it back just enough and run my fingers along the backing. Sorry about the camera. I just tore it a little bit, but it's par for the course. It is a 53-year-old car. Oh. Yeah, there's a little string. There's a little piece of string here. And it's doing a very good job still. It's very sticky. I'd imagine I could, similar to butyl putty actually, I'd imagine I can reuse some of it, but I'll end up peeling it off. That's just a hokey thought. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of it back in this corner up here, and I'm going to go to the front side of the door and continue on with the same procedure, but I have this little stub sticking out that'll hold the paper up when I remove the paper. So I got that working for me. So I'm going to repeat the process left-handed. It's a beautiful thing being ambidextrous to a degree. Oh, come off quite nice. Excellent. So now all that's holding it up is this piece of tape here, and I don't know, I'm pretty sketchy with the camera. I think I'm just gonna peel it along. This is just so brittle. I sound like Mr. Mumbles here, but nobody got hurt. I just pull on it, release it. I didn't damage it. That damage was all there, like I said prior. I did a little bit of a tear right there, but it's pretty soft. There's a little bit of an oily substance here, as you can see. It's likely from the adhesive from the butyl that they'd used back in the day. Okay, so I'm just going to set the paper aside here. Bear with me. And take a look at what we have. Okay. So that's your door latch mechanism and its clip. It's really neat to see things never been disturbed. But what was really weird is this fastener here had fallen out of the door. As immediately after I had removed the lower 4 screws, this fastener had fallen out, and just as I looked down, I noticed the lower window sashes been dislodged for many, many years. Look at that. Well, that's cool. I'm just going to throw it back in the magnetic tray so I don't lose it. I'm also working on the glove box. I have the glove box out and it's in really, really nice shape, but the factory radio is still in the car and I don't want to chop the dash up, as it were, so I'm going to build a really nice steel plate and kind of give it a textured finish similar to this factory green, which is kind of hard to see obviously, but I'd like to do something with that. That barefoot gas pedal, that is old school. That is really, really old. I think it came out of a truck I bought that was put in 1977, so it's an old school part from the day. It is a piece of crap still, it doesn't make any difference, but I found some interesting little tag when I was farting around under the seat here the other day. I'm glad I didn't vacuum it up. Look at some light on it for you. And what that is a identification tag for the upholstery. You see the sources C and A. I can't remember what that is, the part number of it. It is a B body, being an Impala, and it's coupe and front seat. The coupe had a different seat than the sedan, as the coupe has folding backrests, so you can get into the rear seat. Pretty neat piece of documentation. I'm glad I found it. Surprised it's still here. There was a few mice in the car at some point in its storage over the last 35 years, but that's cool to see that they didn't eat it up. Moving forward here, but yeah, so what I need to do, and it's really difficult to see, I do apologize for that, but there are window tracks in here and they're all gummed up from being 53-year-old lubricant, and it's really, really sticky and difficult to wind the windows up. So what I plan on doing is disassembling them and cleaning them up with some degreaser of some format and greasing them with a similar type of product that they had used. So sorry for the long drawn out process and the ums and ahs. It's just part of the process with me. So yeah, there's these little plastic retaining clips and there's a little serrated spike that goes into it, a little pin, and some of them popped out as I was removing the door panel. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but regardless, I got it out, and I'm really happy to say there's absolutely no rust in the bottom of those doors. There's nothing. A little bit of debris from the years, but it's awesome. Anyways, I'll stop boring you with this shit, and you guys have a good evening. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.